What's up, everyone? It's Doug here with Retro Geek Gaming, bringing you another YouTube video. I decided to record in my game room for once to talk to you in this fan theory video about Super Mario Odyssey, what I'd like to see from it, and what I theorize based upon what we know of the game so far is coming to this game. Now, you're always welcome to leave your comments down below about what you think is coming with this game. Whether you think that I'm close or way off or whatever. But I tried to take some time to think about it, and I wanted to do this video sooner, but I've just been caught up with life and all kinds of other stuff, so I haven't really gotten around to it like I would like. Let's go ahead and dwell right on into it so we don't take much more time. With Super Mario Odyssey, I think that we will see a different kind of game, sort of like what they're doing with Breath of the Wild. They're taking the traditional formula and turning it on its head and doing something different. I think we're going to do the same thing here. I think that we're going to get something more of a 3D Mario game, sort of like Sunshine and 64, but more open, but also more contained. And what I mean by that is we've seen 4 levels. Only 4. 4 levels. Like that little fruit thing, something looks like it takes place like in a jungle. We've seen the city, and then we've seen like that desert, New Mexico looking place. Now, what I think is going to be in this game is 8 worlds, but 4 worlds. What I mean by that is, I think we're going to see a day and a night for each level, if that makes any sense. Like, for example, and this will kind of make a little bit more sense as I get later on in the theory, but sort of like what you see with the city and how you see it during the day and during the night, and it's completely different, and enemies come out, sort of like that. Like, if you look at the desert, there's certain parts that take place during the day, and then there's certain parts that take place at the night. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's like, maybe you have like a mini boss fight in the day, and then you have the major boss fight at night. And the reason why I think this is because I believe that we've seen the main enemies of the game, and that is the rabbits. Now, of course, Bowser is the main enemy. Of course, we've seen him. He's wearing that white tux, getting ready for his wedding to Peach and all that stuff. But what I believe is that when they showed off the scene with the rabbits, those were the 4 enemies. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at the footage from, I think it's the jungle at night, you see the white rabbit spinning around, puking the stuff out or whatever. That means that that's a boss fight, which means that you have to fight each of the bosses. Now, we obviously know that there's going to be more bosses since, of course, again, Bowser. But we also saw like a giant metal centipede-looking thing at the top of the tower in the city. So it's very obvious that there's going to be other bosses. But maybe, you fight the rabbit, one of the rabbits, for an example, in the city during the day, defeat it, and then maybe you fight, say, maybe the centipede thing at night in the city. I don't really know. There could be more worlds. Again, E3 is coming up. They may show us more worlds, and I may talk about this more at that time. But just for right now, based on what they've shown off, I think that we're going to get 8 levels, 4 worlds kind of thing, in which the city, and, so they've shown us everything. But there's maybe another world that is Bowser's world that maybe has his castle in it and stuff like that. We have to go and save Peach. I don't know. They did kind of show off like a fight. Unless, of course, that's in the city. Again, unless that's in the city, you get your air balloon, you chase after Bowser, and the fight that takes place in the city in the day is with Bowser, in which then he destroys your hat. You have to get another one. Very much possible. But when it comes down to the hats, I think that we're going to see a huge emphasis on hats, again, like we did in Super Mario 64. The reason why I say that is because, again, of the Crazy Cap. And when, of course, he puts on one of them and it gets the eyes, so I believe that they're magically generated somehow. And I think that each one's going to serve a purpose, because if I remember right, if I remember looking at the Crazy Cap photo of when Mario goes into the store, I believe that there were 4. I believe that there was like a construction worker one, a football helmet one, a sombrero, and like his regular. So I mean, it's possible there could be 5 hats. His regular hat plus 4 more, which would make sense. 1 for each world. You'd have his traditional one that you can throw and bounce off of. You'd have the sombrero one that maybe he turns into like the skeleton things and is able to do some kind of a dance or something. Who knows? There could easily be, for the football one, we've seen the planet where everything seems to be frozen over in some kind of, I mean, he could charge it. There's all kinds of stuff they could do. These are just theories, stuff that may or may not come true. I would like to personally see Bowser Jr. in it. I think that would be an interesting thing, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that, again, we've seen the 5 enemies. And with the exception of, additional boss fights like the giant centipede thing that I told you about, other than those, I think that we're just going to... I think that we've seen pretty much everything. Now, I'll probably reevaluate this after E3 if they show off more footage and stuff like that. But that's mostly my theory with this. And as far as how I want the game to play, well, I mean, we've already seen a lot of the stuff that Mario is capable of doing. He's capable of jumping, he's capable of probably double, triple jumping, bouncing off of hats, doing long jumps. I want this to play very similar to Super Mario Sunshine. I mean, Super Mario Sunshine was one of my favorite games. Mario just used to have a plethora of moves available to him. And that's pretty much it. I'm not asking for, motion controls where we have to waggle the Joy-Cons. I'm not asking for any of that. And, just simply A and B, maybe an X to launch the hat or something like that, will be fine. Maybe figure out a way to use the triggers, the LNRs if you want to. Maybe you can use those to switch between hats. Or maybe you have to go inside and outside of the shops. I think it's going to be interesting, I mean, we've seen things like the goalposts show up, which makes you think there's going to be objectives, which is the main thing that I think is what's going to distinguish this game from the other ones, because before, you had objectives, which really was kind of annoying. What I mean by that is, you go into the first world, it's Super Mario 64. You beat the giant bomb dude, you get the star, you leave the painting. Then you have to come back and do it again, and then you leave and you have to come back. It would be nice if all the objectives are within this world, to where you can pretty much complete everything in one go, if you wanted to. Maybe even do it out of order. Again, there might be a light shining on maybe your airship to get it back up, but along the way, maybe you accidentally pick up all of the little purple shapes that are in that world that seem to be specific to that world, such as the triangles for the pyramid, for an example. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's going to be something like that, where there's going to be these different objectives, where it's, maybe again, instead of there being like blue coins or red coins, you have to pick up these purple shapes, and by opening them up, it opens up, say, like the pyramid, for an example, in the desert stage, and then you can go in there and maybe face a boss, and that's a star or a shine sprite or whatever the collectible is in this game, and then you go on, and maybe there's 8 to 10 objectives, maybe there's even 5 per one, 5 in the day, 5 at night. You see what I'm saying? There's all kinds of stuff that they could do with this game, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more about it. But those are just some of the ideas that I wanted to throw out there real quick. I really want to see this game be open world, like I was talking about, where you can clear up objectives in any order. I'd love to see Mario have a huge set of moves. I would really like to get more information on the bosses, although I think that it's going to simply be what we've already seen with the 4 rabbits and Bowser. Maybe a few new ones here and there. And I also think that we've seen all the worlds, but only time will tell on this, guys. Appreciate you watching, as always. I'm not going to take up much more time. That's pretty much all that I wanted to get around to talking about. What do you guys think is going to be in Super Mario Odyssey? Leave your thoughts down below. Love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.